on the songs, where they take a handful of the band's most well-known songs and they get the stories behind them. So in this one, our friend Greg Renoff, author of Van Halen Rising, and Ted Templeman, a platinum producer's life and music, was interviewed for this, and they were talking about the songs Running with the Devil, Jump, Why Can't This Be Love, Love Walks In, Without You, surprising, and Can't Stop Loving You. And apparently this is going to be coming out in 2022, so keep an eye out for that. And there is a David Lee Roth, well, I shouldn't call it David Lee Roth because it's really... Well, David Lee Roth, Van Halen. I mean, it's a Van Halen song, but it's really, there's no Van Halen on it. It's just David. So there's a new dance mix of Honey Baby Sweetie Doll that was released on YouTube, and here's a clip.
Honey Baby Sweetie Doll, you're the one that I want, or I don't want it all. Honey Baby Sweetie Girl, let me count the ways you rock my world. Baby lover, angel face, you straight up aces. Satin doll, how my heart races. Mama, sugar bear, temper storm in her underwear. Jamaica cherry bomb, Stone Soul Sister, Saga Mom. Honey baby, sweetie doll, you're the one that I want, or I don't want it all.
Not sure who made this, but it was posted by the Mojo Dojo with a clip of David Lee Roth dancing in the camera. So this has a totally different vocal and lyrics from the actual album, A Different Kind of Truth. So very curious, Dave. What did you make of this?
It was interesting. It was all right. I'm glad someone spent the time trying to make a dance song out of it. Not my cup of tea, but, you know, at least somebody was interested enough to take a Van Halen song and do something with it.
That's right. Well, there's also a new documentary on Charvel guitars called The Original Charvel Gang. And it features a lot on Eddie Van Halen in there, because Eddie Van Halen is holding a Charvel guitar on the cover of Van Halen 1. And he had apparently helped turn that business around when that album came out. Michael Anthony is also in the documentary, featuring his splattered bass and his Jack Daniels bass. Steve Vai is in there as well. You can get it on Apple TV or rent it on YouTube. It is called The Original Charvel Gang, and it's definitely worth checking out. Also wanted to let you guys know about the Winery Dogs. We all know Billy Sheehan, David Lee Roth bassist, is in that band. It's a trio with him and drummer Mike Portnoy and guitarist and singer Richie Kotzen. They are making their third studio album, which they've been writing and recording tracks in California, due to come out in 2022. But Dave, still no word on this Talus album. What is going on?
I await with bated breath.
I mean, it's getting late.
I hope it, comes out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
But, it's in the can, just a matter of time, I guess.
Absolutely. And the last item for Van Halen news is, unfortunately, there's more stuff of Eddie Van Halen's being sold off, and it's Eddie Van Halen's 1970 Chevrolet Nova. And this is a metallic orange car, which is, I believe it's the 454 CILSX V8, and it is going on a bid now at Bring a Trailer. It's running at $60,000, Dave. So if you can believe that, his estate is being sold off piece by piece as we approach the anniversary of his passing, which is hard to believe we're almost there.
It's a cool-looking car.
Yeah, definitely. I think you should pick it up. A little extra.
Yeah? All right. I'll go into my petty cash fund.
You got that cash lying around. Now, come on. Well, that's the end of Van Halen news.
And that's the way it is. Good night.
And we have a very interesting interview for you guys. Well, since Dave has disappointed you without his giving you his big reveal, we're going to give you something special. We have Mitch Malloy, who's coming back on the podcast. Now, you're wondering, what the hell is Mitch Malloy coming back on? He was just here in March. You are right. However, we have a reason, because he's doing a very special event on October 9th called the Van Halen Experience. And what he's doing is he's doing a one-time concert of all Van Halen songs. So what it would have been like if he had joined Van Halen, he's going to be playing an entire Dave-era concert. And with him on the podcast is guitarist Pete Thorn. Now, Pete is actually kind of more featured than Mitch here. Pete has spent many years working with Eddie Van Halen behind the scenes. Pete used to play guitar in Chris Cornell's solo band. He worked with Chris very closely. The late Chris Cornell, incredible singer from Soundgarden, also Audioslave. So Pete is filled with incredible Eddie Van Halen stories. You do not want to miss this interview. He's a very, very, very cool guy and an unbelievable guitarist in his own right. We have nicknamed him Pete motherfucking Thorn because he really
right.
is.
It was very unexpected.
Yeah.
He had some great Eddie Van Halen stories that are well worth listening to.
Right, and Mitch tells us about how he came about with his Van Halen experience and what it's going to all be about. We get that. And then we go into the real weeds with Pete. And Pete is a really good storyteller. He's really interesting to listen to. And you're definitely going to want to check this out. But before this happens, you know we can't let Dave go into the night without a sack of mail falling on his head. So that is going to be happening. That's all coming up next. Take a listen.
But power is atomic. And eventually, this moment where one electron is slightly out of whack will end. The world will right itself again. I'll be on top again. And the curious thing is that I will have forgotten your name. I don't believe in enemies. It's not that I don't have them. It's that when you become my enemy, my next move, my only move, is to continue to rise. While you will eddy, sink. Not by my hand, but by your lack of connection to me. So, walk out with your money. It's yours. But you won't be done with me. As the song goes, on every wall and place, my fearsome name will be heard. I'm the atomic punk. I will remain so. And you, Matt, will simply evaporate.
If you need a dose of VH, get a taste of the closest thing. Romeo Delight, the ultimate Van Halen tribute band, playing all the hits from the David Lee Roth era, first classic 6 albums, plus deep cuts, some of which have never been played live before by the band. They even throw in popular tracks from the Sammy Hagar era and solo hits. The most viewed Van Halen tribute band on YouTube, Romeo Delight, doing customized recreations of staging, instruments, and costumes from the classic Van Halen era. They even perform entire Van Halen albums in sequence. Romeo Delight plays theaters, casinos, summer indoor and outdoor festivals, and special events. They're also available for private parties. To contact them, call Bud Blanche at 215-704-5144. That's 215-704-5144. Or via email at sonicparade1@yahoo.com. Romeo Delight, the ultimate Van Halen tribute band.
Pick up the new coffee table-sized book, The Decade That Rocked, by legendary rock photographer Mark Weiss. This 376-page book has hundreds and hundreds of full-color photos that Weiss shot through the 80s for magazines like Circus, Faces, and Hit Parader, featuring bands like Van Halen, Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Bon Jovi, Skid Row, Guns N' Roses, Ozzy Osbourne, and more. There's even behind-the-scenes stories to go with these colorful, eye-popping pictures. The Decade That Rocked, a new book by rock photographer Mark Weiss, is available for purchase now. Go to thedecadethatrocked.com, where there are exclusive bundles available with extra prints, t-shirts, and even patches. Inquire about the Van Halen bundle, especially made for Dave and Dave Unchained listeners. Order today. The Decade That Rocked. It'll rock your world.
Hey everybody, it's Brad Polinski here, author of Eruption, Conversations with Eddie Van Halen, and you are listening to the fantastic Dave and Dave Unchained.
Are you a guitar enthusiast? Want to learn all the tricks and licks of the trade? Searching for that Eddie Van Halen sound and speed? Want to play in the style of Alex Lifeson of Rush, Mick Mars of Motley Crue, or Brian May of Queen? Then sign up for Zoom lessons from the best.
Lance Turner, the guitarist for the #1 Van Halen tribute band, the Atomic Punks. Lance will take you on as his personal student in the comfort of your own home on Zoom. To sign up, contact Lance via email at lancetLessons@gmail.com. Lessons are at an affordable rate of $40 an hour. Email Lance today at lancetLessons@gmail.com. That's LANCETLESSONS@gmail.com, and learn how to jam like a star. Author Greg Renoff is back with a new book, Ted Templeman, A Platinum Producer's Life and Music. The new biography of the record producer Ted Templeman, who went on to produce Van Halen, the Doobie Brothers, Van Morrison, Aerosmith, Sammy Hagar, and more. The book, which runs $19.95, and it's currently available at Amazon.com. From the man who brought you Van Halen Rising comes Ted Templeman, A Platinum Producer's Life and Music, written by Templeman as told to Greg Renoff. Available for only $19.95 at Amazon.com. Order it today.
The thing with the woman I was seeing, that's over.
She was a keeper, you said?
Yeah, that's what most guys would call someone that's smart, beautiful, kind, and willing to throw them a threesome.
Wowza.
You'd think.
You didn't like it?
Oh, I liked it. Of course I liked it. Give me pistachio ice cream, I'll eat it and smile, as Diamond David Lee Roth would say. But yeah, it was uncomfortable. Just too many limbs.
All right, Dave, you know what time it is.
Well, my buddy Dave, he don't want me around. He says he's tired of watching me let him down. He just wants a good mailbag. He wants only the best. But he hates disappointment better than all the rest. And he says that he thinks that I'm headed for a whole lot of trouble. Well, he thinks that I'm headed for a whole lot of trouble. Well, he thinks that I'm headed for a whole lot of trouble if I don't nail the mailbag intro.
That's right, it's mailbag time again. And Dave, we are getting right into it, and guess who's starting us off?
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's
Midwest fucking Ron. That's right, it is Midwest fucking Ron, and we have 3 letters from him, which I compiled all together, but we're going to run through them. But Ron's tight and right. He knows what he's doing. So he wanted to let us know, he said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to suggest a whole deep dive into all these albums, but how about instead you rank them? Here's my order. Michael Anthony, Chickenfoot. David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. Wolfgang Van Halen, Mammoth. Sammy Hagar, Marching to Mars. Gary Cherone, Exit Elvis. Mitch Malloy, Shine. Sammy and Wolf could switch spots depending on my mood. Midwest Ron. So that's number 1. So he wanted us to rank our favorites. Mine is David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile. Mammoth, WVH. Chickenfoot, Sammy Hagar, Marching to Mars, Gary Cherone's Tribe of Judah album, Exit Elvis, and Mitch Malloy's Shine. What about you, Dave?
Well, David Lee Roth's Eat 'Em and Smile definitely goes on top.
Uh-huh.
I haven't heard Mitch Malloy's album either, so I can't speak to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Exit Elvis next by Tribe of Judah, Gary Cherone. Then Mammoth, and then Chickenfoot.
And then where about Sammy Hagar?
Oh, and then Sammy Hagar.
Okay. Well, then Ron also says, a small correction for Dave C. in the August news segment. It wasn't David Lee Roth lead guitarist Al Estrada that joined Rat, but rhythm guitarist Frankie Linda. And yes, you are correct, sir. However, I blame Mr. Eddie Trunk, because Eddie was my source and he flipped it. He flipped Frank instead of Al. So yes, you are 100% correct. Mr. Midwest Ron, I will take my beating.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
That's right. I will bend over and get paddled right in front of all my listeners by Midwest Ron, as he loves to do. Also wanted to get to his 3rd letter. You've speculated in the past with a Van Halen show with Sammy and Dave switching off every couple songs. What it might be like. Wonder no more, as the Van Halen Invasion tribute band from Canada does just that. They have 2 lead singers that they switch off every couple songs, and close the show performing Best of Both Worlds together. Here's a set list that's recent of theirs. The set list, it goes Unchained, Panama, Hot for Teacher, 5150, I Can't Drive 55, Why Can't This Be Love, Running with the Devil, Eruption, You Really Got